All right, so let's do a couple of this or that's because these questions seem to be so fun, right? I mean, they're not like the funnest thing, but like, would you rather do this? Would you rather do that? So this is from the card game, Would You Rather? And it's just something to kind of like work your mind a little bit. Sometimes we're just watching TV or, scrolling or whatever the case, but sometimes you got to ask the question. So, would you rather this or that style? And, play along, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so for the this or that, would you rather be proposed to at someone else's wedding? Okay, be proposed to at somebody else's wedding. Kind of sounds like an upstage situation, but okay, let's think. Or be proposed to on the screen at a sporting event. Oh, well, that's a tough one because I think like it depends who the person is. If the person's like very sports inclined, like that could be romantic, I guess. It would not be for me, but the point is like that could actually be like a first date or some kind of memory or there's a story behind it. So the big screen at a sporting event that could work for certain people. I could see that. I would probably go with, but I don't want to go with this. This is why the this or that's are actually very challenging because like this is rude to go with be proposed to at someone else's wedding. Like you don't want to upstage anybody, but maybe if the scenario is where I can't think of a scenario where that's not trying to upstage the person. It feels like it wouldn't be your fault though because you're not the one who's doing the proposing. You're getting proposed to. So how would you even know? But then I feel like would you be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry to the people getting married, like, oh my gosh, like I upstaged you or I overshadowed your moment, but I didn't even know." Which therefore, does that make you not want to say yes because you're like, how did the person I'm dating not know this is like bad? This is low brow, let's say. So I don't know. That's the question. Teach their own on it. Once again, it is to be proposed to at someone else's wedding or be proposed to on the screen of a sporting event. I did go with the one answer, but now I'm kind of rethinking it for no reason at all. I just don't want to upstage nobody at a wedding. Like upstaging to somebody in regular situation is like, you're not trying to do that, but you definitely don't want to do that at a wedding. Like that doesn't seem right at all. Okay, so here's another one. This is like again in the relationship or flirtation space. I love flirty energy, so these ones are good. So again, this is from the game Would You Rather. This is a this or that. Would you rather get hit on in an emergency room, okay, or get hit on at a funeral? Okay, so funny story about that. With getting hit on at a funeral, it does sound like absolutely there's no romance there. But I can actually say people have met people at the service. The thing about a service is though it is emotional and there's all the things of paying tribute to the life of, a lot of times, I'm trying to track back to the last service that I went to. It really is getting a great group of people together and really trying to have in tribute form the ultimate like living life to the fullest. So even though that probably sounds weird, like getting hit on at a funeral sounds really like that's not the space for it, and it's not. Think about it like this. Let's say you're at a service and it's like, you have that great day of drinking and reconnecting with friends. I think I went to a service once and it was like people that I knew 20 years ago when we worked together, and I felt like I was connecting with people that I otherwise 20 years ago never connected with that much. My regular long-term friends, yeah, we were always still good friends, but it was like people that I never like really had that joy with, but we were wonderful coworkers. There was no issue, but somehow at a service things become accelerated in a really good way because everyone's there to really maximize and like cherish, again, the tribute of the life of such and such. So getting hit on at a funeral by word doesn't actually sound cool at all. It sounds like that's crazy. That's you need to, you're probably sad and emotional, and you are, but when you get to the reception, I don't know, I'm just opening up the thought process for that. Getting hit on in the emergency room. Why is my reading so bad? Getting hit on in the emergency room. It seems less likely. It does seem less likely, but then again, why do we have all these TV shows like ER, Grey's Anatomy? There's something about the romance in an emergency room at a hospital. So maybe you just got to open your eyes and be willing to, find love and a hopeless place, or not hopeless, but hospitals. That's not what you're there for. But they always say, sometimes it's not really like the typical. You go to a bar, a restaurant, or something like that. Saturday night, Friday night. That maybe isn't the time to meet somebody, get hit on. But usually it's these, at the library, and in this case, the emergency room. So did I give an answer? Get hit on in an emergency room or get hit on at a funeral? As odd as it is, and it doesn't even sound right in words, I say, from my explanation a second ago, I say when you get to that reception and the paying tribute to the life of the person and living to the fullest, there's an opportunity there. Even though that sounds nuts, it does sound nuts. It does sound like that wouldn't be the answer, but I guess that would be what I would choose. Let's do two more. Okay, so let's do another. This is Would You Rather, the card game, the this or that style. I love these questions. Just fun and easy, kind of works your brain a little bit, Sometimes I feel like we get very mindless. We're just scrolling or watching 19 shows, binging all 10 episodes at a time. It's a lot. So this is like to ask some questions and engage your brain a little bit. I like it. Engage your mind a little bit. All right, so here we go. Let's do, would you rather have boiling hot soup in a hot tub? Boiling hot soup in a hot tub, or eat an ice cream sandwich in the sauna? This seems like the easiest one, right? Boiling hot soup in a hot tub. No, I'm not going to go with that. Ice cream in a sauna. Oh, ice cream sandwich. Well, ice cream sandwiches aren't as good as ice cream. Ice cream is like the greatest thing ever. I try not to eat as much ice cream as I did when I was growing up as a kid. I used to love ice cream. I was like obsessed with ice cream. It was so good to me. A milkshake, wonderful, right? Brings them to the yard, yes. So for me, it's ice cream would be for sure answer. Ice cream sandwich, they're not as good, but I'm just going to go with the comparative. Well, actually, I'm going to go with two things. Yes, a hot tub is fun, and it's, a hot tub. But I don't need to be in a hot tub with boiling hot soup. That's crazy. And the hot tub is not that much of an experience that supersedes the sauna. The sauna is the greatest experience. Hot tub's more like flirtation. Well, no, because I guess people go in the hot tub just for, relaxing their muscles too. But hot tub is a vibe, and I don't need to have hot boiling soup with it. Whereas ice cream, I wish it was just ice cream. I don't like that it wrote ice cream sandwich. Ice cream sandwich, but anything cold in a sauna, the sensations would be crazy. When you get out of a sauna, it is just the most incredible thing. So you throw in a cold ice cream to go with it. I'm really rejecting the idea of an ice cream sandwich though, but I do like ice cream in a sauna. So again, this is to the question, would you rather for the this or that, a hot boiling hot soup in a hot tub, sounds crazy, or eat an ice cream sandwich in a sauna? My reading is horrible today. Eat an ice cream sandwich in a sauna. That's the answer, right? Let's do one more. So this or that is actually really fun because this is kind of like the vibe of we're always communicating. And I always say my favorite thing, even though, we communicate a lot, is taking some time away. I love to be away from my phone. I love to be, within, I'm a big fan of walking. I'm always walking. I love to walk. So, my point of this is to detach a little bit is always good. Disengage, rather. As Meredith Marks once said. But the point is, it's good to kind of not be all in the stuff. Now, I'm just giving you the preface based on the question. It's good to disengage. It's good to be away from the phone. It's good to have your own free time. So then this makes answering this question not that bad because the question is very like the gossip, right? So let's ask it. Would you rather never be included in an inside joke? Okay, so never be included on an inside joke, or would you rather never hear gossip? This one is tough because, I think you definitely would maybe think, I don't know that, I think that we are sometimes feeling like we're so in on gossip, like we're feeling like we it's good to know and be up to the minute, but it's really not, And when you don't hear it, you kind of move on like, if it doesn't have anything to do with you or the people that you care about, it's actually not a big deal to miss it. You only feel like you're missing it because we keep getting fed more and more and more and more. And that's why I said, that's why even when I was prefacing it, it didn't make a lot of sense, because it was like, why am I talking about disengaging, being away from your phone, going on walks, going on hikes, like taking time away? It's what I'm telling you is that I feel personally, me personally, that when you take time away and aren't just like connected to the phone or connected to like an email or connected to, we got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, you're more at peace, and you realize you don't need the things you think you need. And sometimes you think you need to be all in the know and knowing all the things, such as gossip. But the reality is, I don't think you need to do it. So in this question, would you rather never be included in an inside joke or never hear gossip? Now, I'm not saying you need to be in an inside joke. You're not going to be like, oh, woe is me, I'm not in the inside joke. Like, I don't think that's anything to be mad about. But if I had to choose, I would rather think, yes, I'd rather be in on an inside joke, so long as we're not like tearing anyone else down. But an inside joke is fun. An inside joke is about building. And I know I sound like, ooh, I sound very like, saying the right answer, but I think it is the truth. I think that as we are aiming to level up, we necessarily, an inside joke is more about the joke. It's more about that you have like this circle of trust with some people, and this is funny to you. And again, as long as you're not like shunning anybody and making them feel left out, the inside jokes are just really, it's another level of communication where you, it's just a further building of trust. So inside jokes are actually, that's when you're like really cool with people. It really feels good. You know what I mean? And never hearing gossip could sound off top like, oh my God, I'll be out of the know. But as I'm saying, when you do other things and you don't feel like you have to be constantly inundated, like just constantly, I've always really appreciated time away from things. Even thinking about like the way music was released in my era, 90s and in 2000s, those are like my, high school and, out of high school, in my 20s kind of era. Music was released at one time. So right now, these days, you are fed so much music day in, day out. I think when that happens, you will feel more left out, because the void happens when you're not getting constant, more, I need more. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm referring back to, I know this is becoming such like a mental thing here. It's just a stupid question. Why don't I just answer it? But the point is, like, thinking back to what the 90s, 2000s music releases were back then, and how you would just consume greatness just once a week and you would get excited about it. It shows that you don't need this. Like, there was not a time back in the 90s, 2000s where you were like, I need more. No, you were like, I can't wait. I think they release music on Tuesdays. And this is just my example. So what happens here, and why we feel we have to say yes to an answer like this, gossip. Oh God, I don't want to be left out of that. Would you rather, hear the gossip? Like, it's hard to almost think like, I don't want to be left out, but you actually aren't left out. You actually aren't left out. Now, there's the other side of things where somebody could be like, well, I don't want to hear gossip at all because it's just going to bring me down. And I think that's something too. I think you should only know what you need to know. You know what I mean? You should only know the things that are pertinent to the people you care about, yourself, the people that you love, and the people that you want to make impact for. Again, this is becoming too like all positive and woo woo woo. But my point is, I really think that never be included on an inside joke. I would have to say, of the this or that's for this would you rather, I think that's the more special connection. So these were just a couple this or that's. There's many more. This game is actually pretty cool, I think. I think it's pretty cool. So would you rather, just questions back and forth. The game has its own rules, but I just try to go and kind of like, read them on occasion. And that way I'm just, working my mind a little bit and kind of boost your energy level and happiness and all that kind of stuff. The right kind of dopamine hit. But anyways, those are a couple of this or that questions. If there is a this or that question that is worthy, we can talk about that one on the next one. And I got all these cards. So that means there are many more this or that's that we can get into at some point. But that's it for now.